Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a very interesting case. This is a diagnosis in computer repair. The vehicle computer donor, let's say, is a 2005 Wrangler X, and the problem is it's a very threaded, no communication with the transmission. It goes into leave mode, and then it's just a problem with the shifting and so on, right? All right, so I brought the computer home. And let me show you the setup. Got a lot of light today. So I went and deciphered all the pins to be able to do a bench test. So this is pretty much what we need. So in connector C1, they're all 38 pins. We got grounds in 9 and 18, powers in 29, 30, and 11. And then the communication PCI, which is what this uses, is on pin 38. I also um, use too the SCI, the receive and transmission, which because this is a powertrain module, so I'm not sure if I do need that or not. So I might as well just connect it. Those goes to the DLC and are pin 25, 26, 36, and 37. On connector 2, we don't need nothing of that. Those are just sensors and so on. And connector 3, which is the black white, I forgot to say it. Connector 1 is a black. Connector 2 is black orange. We don't need that for what we're doing. Let me focus the camera. And connector 3 is a black white. We need two powers in there, which are actually the same. Those are the ASD relays, control, or actually outputs. So they're 19 and 28. And then on C4, which is black green, we had two grounds on pins 12 and 13. And then again, two powers, which are common, 19 and 28. Those are, I think, for transmission output relay. Disregard that 26. It's not in use. And these are just what the the SCI goes to. So the 38 goes to pin 2 on the DLC. 25 goes to pin 12 on the DLC. I'm talking about, connector 1, as you can see in there. Pin 26 goes to pin 9 on the DLC, 36 to 7, and 37 to 15. All right, so that's what you need to do. For this, I'll be using the Siglin SPD 3303. It's a very good power supply. Make sure when you're supplying power to a computer to use one um, output, because otherwise it start to create kind of like a short in. And believe me, I tried, it didn't work. So I have also these two last wires are supplying ground and power to the DLC, which I have here connected to my scanner, and then I run, you know, pins 2 and so on onto each of the connectors. To see the waveform, I'm also using my new scope. This is the Fluke 190-204. I really like it. It's very handy, very mobile. It's a handheld, right? So, all right. For continuity tests, because this is a 4-channel scope, as you can see, isolated outputs. So I don't need much channels for what we're doing or what I'm showing as for now. But so the way you check pins and to see the grounds are the same, you put one ground and then you touch the other one and then you use continuity so that we can turn this one off. I don't need it. And as far as information, I got all the pinouts from Identifix. Okay, you select the card and then you go into each of the connectors. Let me actually close this, and you can see it says um, powertrain control module C4 black, green, and it tells you which ones, which are all the pins. Let me see, these are the C3, and you can see it's very, very specific, very nice. Is the relay output, like I said, is the 19 and 28, as you can see here, but they're all together in there. I still try to use it just to make sure that I get the communication, because at first I wasn't getting communication, and it's because I was using two outputs from my power supply, and it was kind of like shorting the communication. It's a protected power supply, so it's not a problem. And these are the pins that you need from the DLC, as you see. I'm getting a little bit of a glaring or weird, right? I guess it's a computer. All right, so now I got everything ready to go. Let me turn the power supply on. Yeah, you guys are focused. Well, actually, wait a second. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me raise the amperage just a little bit. Yep, it's on the start. It doesn't work very well. And the nice thing about this fluke, so right now it's off completely, and it can be ready to go in that. It's done. Good to go. All right, the first thing, I'm going all over the place, but I have already um, an alligator here. It's a little hard to do one-handed, but this is connected to pin 2, which is the communication. And you'll see as soon as I plug here, let me change the time base because this is for something else. So we need to go a little, I'm zooming too much speed-wise. So we know, or you see that we have communication. Let me change the voltage as well, so we see that a little bigger, and we can move the waveform down. So as you can see, we got a very good communication. I already measured it, and it's 0 to 7.5. That's what the manufacturer recommends or tells you that it should be. So we can measure that. Let me move the cursor. Let me move the other one. Gotta get used to this one. So different to the Microscope or Snap-on, but it's super, super good. This is a 200 megahertz scope, though. And one other thing we can see, if I go to meter, well, this one is going to give a not the right bit rating for what we have. Oh my God, did I miss everything? Yep, I just fuck everything up. Sorry for the wording. I gotta just come in more. At least you guys. So let me move the trigger. It's not moving. Now it is. All right. So we're back in business. You saw there was 0 to 7 point, as you can see, 7.76. All right, so that's the communication line. We got plenty of communication. I can go over, right now my scanner is connected. I already ID the vehicle. As you can see, I read the bin. Let me see, that's the bin of the car. And now if I go over to any computer, of course I got no loads, no sensors connected, so we're gonna have a bunch of codes. But you can see that I am communicated with the computer. And of course, we got a whole bunch of codes. We can go to live data. And we are also in control and communication. Obviously, a lot of the stuff is just going to be like the TPS and 5 volts because it's not connected. But then when I go over to the transmission control module, because remember, this computer is 2 computers in one. It just hangs in there and then no communication, believe me. I'm gonna let you guys see that, but the powers and grounds, everything is there. I am 100% sure. And what I will, okay, so we got now no communication. I can go back in here and close this. Now let me set the phone into my tripod and then get you guys so we can see what all this is, and we can probably see it on the scope as well. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is, again on the computer on the Jeep. I have a conversation with my friend, Keith DeFazio and some from Tool Hut, and they told me not to use the SCI because pin 7, and actually let me get that note that I have so I remember the pin numbers. Bear with me. So they tell me that it's a little confusing as far as understanding the communication lines for this computer on this 2005 Jeep Wrangler X. So this is what I had, and they tell me that it's not really important to use this 12, 9, 7, and 15, which will be on the DLC, and on the connector 1, which will be 25, 27, 36, and 37. It's a little hard to understand some of the wiring. That 37 might not be necessary. Still, an extra that will not affect. It's not that you're shorting the wire or something. So what I did is I connect those, and as you can see, I can talk to the computer. Um, I am actually connected right now on pin 7. Let's say, if I try to read codes, and exactly at that time, this one turns off. Let me go back. You'll see I have the scope connected on pin 7, which you already saw. If you go back into my notes, there's a receive, I think. So every time you send a request for codes or anything on the scanner, even the live data, you see how that gets communication. So it's not just the PCI. So the PCI bus does the communication in between the scanner and computer, because as you can see right now, that's what I brought these uh, COM bus split box. They call it Bob too. But you can see I have now in between 7, 12, and pin 2. So if I go like right now, because I'm reading the data, so you can see that this one goes from, I think it's 0 to 5 volts, and it's because I'm reading the pits. So yeah, it's a constant communication back and forth. If I go on the other line, so I'm connected into pin 12. Sorry for the glare, guys. So you can see that there is also communication. So these 7 and 12 are the communications for the PCM. So you need 2, 7, and 12 in order to communicate, and I'm going to prove that to you guys also right now. So let me get out of here. Just going to put the scanner into ECM mode, and just to not make any problems, I'm going to turn my power supply off, and I'm going to remove, let me get some light to get the right wires out. So 26, 25, yeah, it's not a problem. I have the DLC connector that I have. It has all the numbers, very easy to read. And then 37 and 36. So we can leave those. Let me make sure that they're not touching each other. That's all I really want to make sure, that because they get 5 volts when the computer is trying to communicate. All right, so let me turn everything back on. So as you can see, now we have activity on pin 2. Obviously, the computer is just on. We have no communication. So from here, which That's as much as you can get with the PCI bus connected, which is pin 2. And I will show you. So again, I go to engine computer. That's going to stay in there. I'm going to show you in a second. Now look at the test bus. The scanner is trying to see from any other way, try to communicate with the PCM, if it's 6 and 11 or 6 and 714, whatever. You know what I mean? Any kind of protocol, and it's not. We can see if I move my scope lead to pin 2 that we got the PCI buses is active. So the scanner and the computer are trying to communicate in between each other, but it just stays there. And then we'll turn these lights off. It will hang up in there till it goes just like no communication. And I want also to show you guys all of this because let's say you are testing a communication on a Jeep and oh, it's just a PCI bus, but I got no communication with the scanner. What's going on? The computer is working good, but I got no PIDs, I got nothing. So this might be the issue because it's very confused the information that the manufacturer give you. I have read a lot on all data and on identifics and nothing. As you can see, I mean, this is just going to hang up and it's eventually like just going to say there's no communication. So let me stop the video. I'm going to put everything I'm going to show you and I'm going to try to do that again. Well, I mean, this is going to stay here. I don't know for how long. And as you can see, pin 2 is active. I got 4 and 5 ground, good power. Everything is there except for the pins for the SCI network. Because I was looking at what, sorry, I'm in my room. I'm in the guest room in my house. So you're going to have to disregard the mess. So let me see what I am first. Actually, let me show you the connector. See the connector on Identifix. This is connector C1 powertrain module, ECM, TCM. My main wires are, like I said, 3637, SCI transmit PCM, and SCI receive TCM. That's what I, use the 37 as well. And then the other two. Oh, right here. So 26 and 25 and 26, SCI receive PCM and SCI receive TCM. And I already, okay, finally the scanner put, sorry for that quick turn, device unable to communicate. So let me get out of here. I'm going to leave it right there. Turn the power supply off. And let me reconnect the wires. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Again, I know it's a little too bright sometimes. But as you can see, so connector 1, 25 goes to 12, 26 to 9, 36 to 7, and 37 to 15. That's as much as my homework showed me. I have right now all those pins connected in here. So 25, 26, 36, and 37 going over to the DLC, which is connected. So let me turn the power supply off. I mean on. You can see now we only have pin 2 on because we're not requesting information. Let me set up the scanner connected, I mean, next to the test box. It's too much glare. Let's see what I can do about that, guys. Trying to get light in the room, but sometimes it's a little hard. All right, so sorry for the glare. Let me start requesting communication. Now you see we had activity in between 7 and 12, and not like the scanner looking everywhere like it was doing before, 6, 14, 9, 1, because it wasn't able to. And guess what? I can see information now. Now we went to the next um, menu, and again, pin 2. It doesn't change no matter what. I'm going to move it over to pin 7, and I'm going to live data. As you can see, it's activity, and right there we got activity in pin 7, and it's going to stay active because it's reading data on the live data. So again, for the PCM, we need 7 and 12. Now I'm going to go out of here because I know I have no communication with the transmission. So we have nothing else than 2 on right now. Let's see what it does when I click the transmission. 14, 7, 7, 15, 7, 15. Sorry guys. And it's no communication. So as you can see, when it see there is no communication, it start reading everywhere. But it started at the beginning from 7 and 15. So whenever you use 9, and now it's just in a steady idle, like device, no communication. So that's what I gotta focus myself on, those pins, going back to the transceiver on this PCM and see why is the transceiver not working. All right, guys. So I'm gonna have a nice capture. I got my GoPro set up so you guys will be able to see me working on that. As soon as I get any findings, I will get you in the video, and you will be able to see it with me. All right, guys. I got some improvement. I got the actual computer out of the case. Let me show you. This is the case, and it has a gel which is nasty to remove. I use the same gel. This ball here is super sticky. I use it to clean the whole board because that covers the entire surface of the board. I needed to do that because I wanted to see the pins from the other side. So right now I have the microscope, uh, seeing pin 37. And guess what, guys? You see right there? That is actually pin 37. And as you can see, I'm looking at a bowl of solder. And that usually shows or happens when you have a shorter capacitor. This computer uses a capacitor on almost every single pin, as you can see in the entire uh, capture that I have on the screen right here. So I'm going to remove that capacitor, and I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to reconnect the computer and see if it comes back to life. I'm going to tell you, cleaning this computer, it took me just like 2 hours. Let me show you the other side so you get to see. I'm trying to get some light, make the camera focus, but as you can see, we still got, gum around on this side. Not so bad, but I'm going to focus on that side, and I get you guys back where I have everything back reconnected. Hopefully I didn't damage the computer by taking it apart. I didn't see anything broken or anything. It was very hard. I have to like pry it out, cleaning the gel or silicone. I'm not even know what that is. And then I was able to remove it. And then with this ball was just like in out, removing and removing and removing. All right, so enough of that. Let me get back to work and see if I can replace that and see if he does a lucky shot.